Louisville is on their way. As you can see on the dais, we'll be joined by Sam Furing, Erica Carter, and Asia Durr, along with head coach Jeff Walls. Same reminders as previous days. Please silence all your cell phones and devices. No video recording, though an FTP is available through Hammond Communications. No flash photography is permissible, though still photography is fine without the flash. We have microphones for all the reporters who have questions. Please raise your hand and we'll get those to you. Again, state your name and affiliation, please, and then address the question specifically to an individual on the dais. The Louisville SID, as you know, is Nick Evans, and he'll be able to assist following this press conference. The Louisville locker room is open and will remain open for 30 minutes. The format for post-game press conferences will have a 2-minute maximum head coach statement, questions to the student athletes only, and that will be 8 minutes maximum. Student athletes will be released back to the locker room area, and questions for the head coach for 10 minutes. Please keep in mind all post-press conference interviews must be done in the secondary interview room, which is outside the locker room hallway. Again, Nick or Anna from UConn will be able to help with that. For those who haven't heard, the all-tournament team includes Sam Furing and Asia Durr from Louisville, Nafisa Collier, Crystal Dangerfield, and Katie Lou Samuelson from Connecticut, and Nafisa Collier as the most outstanding player. We are joined by student athletes and head coach Jeff Walls. Again, student athletes joining us, Sam Furing, Erica Carter, and Asia Durr. Coach, as is customary, we'd like to begin with an opening statement from you.
First, thank you. First, I'd like to thank the MAC and everyone involved in putting this regional on. I thought everything was fantastic. I thought it was first class. Everybody that I encountered, was nothing but helpful, and we greatly appreciate that. Would like to congratulate the UConn, of course, in what was a great basketball game. A game that went right down to the wire. I was really proud of our young women. We didn't quit. Refused to quit, continue to compete, and that's what you ask of them. I tell them all the time, if you're going to lose a basketball game, just make sure you lose because you're not making shots. And in the first half, to be honest with you, we had some great looks. We just couldn't put the ball in the basket. And we are who we are. We're a jump shooting team. We're not a take it to the hole, M1, pound it in the paint. We're a jump shooting team, and we have been all season. And we've been pretty good at it. You don't get to this point if you're not pretty good. But unfortunately, we just couldn't get some shots that normally go down in the first half. But, we kept our head up, and we continued to fight. But, sucks. I feel for these 3 young women here that have just given everything that they have to our program, to our city, to the university, and they've been nothing but outstanding role models. You can't put a price tag on what these young women do. The impact they've had in our city. It's been pretty remarkable, and I love them all, and they'll be missed, but will never be forgotten because they'll always be a part of our family. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. Do we have questions for the student athletes? Again, specific to student athletes. Up here in the front, Doug.
Doug Feinberg, the AP. Asia, that last 2 minutes, you guys we're down 11, could have thrown in the towel, but just talk about the rally you had to cut it to have a chance to win the game and what it shows about the heart of this team.
Yeah, we fought back hard. I mean, we created some nice turnovers. Dana got a steal. AC got a steal. We came back and scored both times, but I went to the line and missed 2 big free throws. So, I mean, we fought hard, and that's what shows. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. That's what makes us us. We don't stop fighting. It doesn't really matter how much we're down by. So I'm just super proud of my teammates, man. We just kept fighting. That's all that you could ask for.
Thank you. Here to the right, Tim.
Tim Wilkin from the Albany Times-Union. Asia, how frustrating was it for you? You started the game 0 for 8 from the field and then 1 for 10 at the half. Was it just, were you just thinking that they'll start going down eventually, or does it get into your head?
No, I mean, you just stay patient. I mean, it's not the first time I went 1 for 10 throughout the whole year. I mean, I've had bad nights too. So, I mean, it's not the first time it took place. So I just tried to find my teammates out there on the court, but I feel like I should have been more patient.
Other questions for our student athletes? Over here on the left, Howard.
Hi, Howard Megdal, High Post Hoops. This is a question actually for Sam. Sam, I'm wondering, when you think about the days and weeks ahead, how much is the focus shifting to professional opportunities, and do you feel like you're ready for that opportunity, be it in the WNBA?
I'm honestly not focusing on that right now. I got a few things to work out before I can even focus on my future ahead.
Thank you, Sam.
Graduate.
Amen.
Other questions for our student athletes? Over here on the left.
Erica, Jim Clark from Women's Hoops World. When Asia was having trouble scoring, although she had like 10 boards in the first half, you other guards kind of stepped in and filled that stat sheet, and kept yourselves within easy distance of UConn. What went through your mind? Did it have anything to do with seeing that she was not having a great day?
That's the great thing about our team. When somebody is a little off, we always have people to step up. Asia's a great player, and we knew she was going to start hitting shots. But at the time, you just have to keep playing the game. It happens. Shots don't always fall. A lot of our shots didn't fall tonight. But that's the great thing about our team. It's always somebody ready to step up, and we're always encouraging people to step up, and that's what we tried to do tonight.
Thank you. Any other questions? Tim, on the right.
Even towards the end, when you guys, it looked like you were beat, but then you cut the lead again. You guys always thought you were going to win the game. This is for all three of you, didn't you?
Yeah, we always thought we were going to win.
Sam?
Yeah, we're always working hard to try to get the dub. That's what it is.
Erica,
Yeah.
anything to add?
I agree.
Get the dub.
It's March. You never know what could happen. We've been saying that this whole time. So in our mind, the game was never over till the buzzer horned.
Thank you. Anything else for our student athletes? Seeing none, ladies, thank you very much. Congratulations on a terrific season.
Got the dub. Only saying. That's fine.
Questions for head coach Jeff Walls? Doug? Up here on the right.
Jeff, Doug Feinberg, the AP, congrats on a wonderful season.
Thank you.
I'm guessing you didn't think Samus was going to have a night like she did the other night today, but can you just talk about, she seemed to hit every big shot for them in the fourth quarter when she needed to.
No, she made some big shots, but I've got to give credit to Megan Walker. Megan Walker was the difference in the first half. At times you've got to roll the dice a little bit, and I thought we did a really good job on Nafisa, but we backed off of Walker at times to help on Collier, and she knocked down shots. I thought she was the difference for them. and I know it was in the first half, but she really kept them going and gave them a bounce. And then Katie Lou came out. Yeah, there's no question about it. She made some tough shots. She made some tough ones, and then we had some breakdowns on a few that you just can't have. She hits a huge shot and gets a 4-point play out of it. She definitely moved a lot better today than she did on Friday. So credit to her. She's a great player, and if she plays like that, like this, continuing on, they're going to be hard to beat.
Question on the left.
Azar Johnson from NBA Online. Coach, even though a lot of people saw Durr struggle in the first half, what a lot of people didn't see was how she was participating and helping her team, other teammates score and blocks and screens and contributing, and she never got down. If you could just speak on the character of Durr.
Well, I just think if you're sitting here and you listen to her, the first thing she says when there's a question asked to her is, "I missed 2 big free throws." That's not the reason we lost the game. You can look over a 40-minute game and find a ton of areas that you could improve on, but that's who she is. She takes that responsibility on, and then, I've been in the same press conferences where after she scored 47, and the first thing she's saying is, "My teammates set me up. My teammates got me the ball." That's why they all love playing with her. It's who she is. She's not only a remarkable basketball player, but she's just as impressive as a person. And that's really, all these young women. I challenge them. I push them to be great, not just good, great, in everything they do. And I look at Sam and AC and Asia, and I see 3 young women that are ready for whatever is in front of them. If it's professional basketball, the workforce, whatever it might be, they are prepared for it, and they're going to succeed and do extremely well.
Thank you. Question on the right.
Hey, Jeff. Excuse me. Hey, Jeff. Lakin Littman with Sports Illustrated. What can you say about what a game like this does in the Elite Eight with players like Asia and Katie Lou does for the rising visibility of women's basketball as a whole?
It's a great basketball game. I thought there was a lot of big plays made by both teams. Unfortunately for us, they just made a few more. But I really think if you didn't sit back and watch this game and you can't sit there and appreciate how it was being played, then it's a shame, because I thought there were some big time plays by both teams.
Thank you. Howard, over here.
Hey, Jeff. Howard Magdal, High Post Hoops. Congratulations on your season.
Thank you.
I just want to talk about Sam's profile at the next level specifically, and what she can do, the fact that she can step out, the fact that she can bang with 4s and 5s. What do you see of her at the WNBA level, and do you expect her name to be called, as Asia's almost certainly will as well?
I would think so. After what Sam has done, especially in this tournament, I think she's shown a lot of people that she can play inside out. She has great hands. She has great instinct for the game. She's not afraid to battle. She's not afraid to mix it up inside. But at the same time, she can defend on the perimeter. I think at that level, she'll be a little bit like a utility knife. You're going to be able to get a lot of options from her. Not that she's a knockdown 3-point shooter, but if you leave her open, she can make them. She's really good from 15 to 18 feet to be great on a pick and roll, pick and pop. And then she's willing and able to defend multiple spots. So I'd be shocked if her name's not drawn, not announced on the 10th. I'll be surprised if she's not picked up by somebody to come into a training camp.
Thank you. Question here on the right.
Jeff, that final push, the kid said it, you guys refused to quit, and it's just the mentality you've instilled there. You're down 4, you get your best player to the foul line for 2 shots. I got to think you're sitting there going, okay, we're going to be down 2 and things are going on here, that we have a chance to tie this game up, and she didn't hit them. Just what you were thinking in that point in the game.
Shit happens. That's what I was thinking. You know, I mean, I tell people all the time, you know, I go to a ton of games recruiting, and I see somebody get fouled and somebody's yelling, you got to make it, you got to make it. No kidding. You know, Asia did not go up there with any intent to not make 2 free throws. It happens. You know, and then Sam came down with the offensive board. So it's not like we didn't get the rebound. I mean, Sam worked extremely hard, and she got in there, and, you know, they had a nice block. I thought it was a good block. But we had our chances. You know, we continued to fight, continued to compete. You know, I think we're down 6 or whatever it may have been with 29 seconds, and they call the timeout. And I told Dee, said, we're not fouling. We're not trying to foul. We're trying to come up with a jump ball because we have the arrow. And our kids came out and did it. You know, everything that we wanted, we got. We just didn't make 2 free throws. You know, and that's part of the game. That's why you roll the ball out. You know, it hurts, it stings, but that's not the only reason we lost the game. You know, there was a stretch there where we just could not come up with a rebound. They ended up with 11 offensive boards, but I mean, the last 4 minutes, they probably came up with 4 or 5 of those. And those were really crucial.
Thank you. Question on the right for Tim.
Tim Wilkin from the Albany Times-Union. Jeff, you were just talking before about not being able to make the shots that you normally make. When Asia was 0 for 8, 1 for 10, are you over there on the sidelines dying for her, hoping that she gets it going?
No, I mean, of course, I didn't want her to go 1 for 20. But no, she was taking shots within our offense. She was taking shots. She would create some. That pull-up jumper is what she shoots. She had a couple. The first 4 or 5 of the game, there were like 3 of them that were in and out. And those are shots that she normally gets. I thought our kids did a great job of finding her, setting screens for her to get her going. And of course, you know, you're sitting there, and like you said, she's 1 for 10, and we're down 7 at half. It's still a ball game because we're a good team. I know everybody wants to say it's Asia Durr, she's special, but everybody else is pretty darn good on our team too. So we felt good. We went into halftime feeling pretty good. Like, hey guys, I mean, we couldn't have shot much worse, and it's still a 7-point game. And we knew for us to have a chance, Asia was going to have a better second half, and she did. But it wasn't enough from everybody. And we had talked about it. We said, you know, our performance on the 31st of January, we were going to have to play better, and we just didn't.
We have time for one more. It's over here on the left.
Jeff, you talked about this after Friday's game, but they were up 11 with 90 seconds left, and you guys went on an 8-1 run, sparked by 3 steals. So talk about that defense that's been ignored while everybody focused on Asia.
We compete. You know, I knew we weren't going to quit. That's why I saved my 2 timeouts. You know, I knew we could come up. Instead of, you know, after we score calling a timeout, we jumped into the press as quick as we could. You know, we come up with a steal. We get a quick back door for a layup. And then all of a sudden, when we needed to call them, I was able to call them, and we executed. I mean, it was pretty special. And then the last play there, you know, we tried a little something thrown over the top and just didn't complete the pass. But it was a great ball game. You know, it just sucks to be on this end of it, but that's part of life. You know, we played a pretty good basketball team today. I thought the crowd was fantastic. I thought they were great. Our kids enjoyed it. Just don't really much enjoy the outcome right now.
Coach, thank you for doing this.
Thank
Again,
you.
Congratulations on a great season.
Thank you, everybody, again, for covering.
Additional
our game.
comments from Louisville student athletes and coach. Please see Nick Evans. Again, all secondary interviews should be done in the room outside the locker room hallway. Thank you. Hey, Nick. As you can see, we've been joined by UConn head coach Gino Auriemma, along with sophomore Megan Walker, freshman Kristen Williams, and senior Katie Lou Samuelson. As is customary, Coach, if we could begin with an opening statement, and then we'll have questions for the student athletes.
Thank you. Well, as I said out in the arena, you know, there's a lot that goes into trying to do this. You know, you have to beat, you know, a great team to go to the Final Four. That's always been the case, and especially tonight. And you know, I knew it was gonna turn out to be either Asia Durr or somebody on our team that was gonna step up and have a huge night. Because in these games, that's usually what happens. You know, there's no trick offenses or trick defenses you're gonna come up with or run any, you know, fancy plays. At this time of the year, in these games, you know, either one of their guys or one of our guys is going to be the difference. And tonight, you know, it happened to be Lou. And I don't know what to say about our entire team's performance tonight. It was pretty special.
Thank you, Coach. Questions right here on the right? Roger.
Roger Cleveland from the Waterboro Republican American. Lou, were you feeling better today, or was the adrenaline just going? What leads to a performance like you had tonight?
There's definitely a lot of adrenaline that goes into that, but you know, coming into this game, we all felt like there was a little bit of unfinished business from the last game. There was a little bit of extra motivation, and we wanted to give ourselves a chance to get to the Final Four. And so with that and that much focus and that many things all coming at you, it's easy to just play. Just go out there and play as hard as you can, play with everything you have in you. So it was easy to not, you know, focus on anything but the game at hand.
Over here on the left, 2 questions.
LJ LaFira, Upstate Courier. Katie, compare what you did in this game to the rest of your season.
Wow. Well, today, you know, I feel like I've been shooting well in practices and stuff, and today I was getting some shots, and, you know, we were doing a pretty good job of setting these screens, getting the open, and overall I think every single person on this team stepped up and did something big. We had 5 players scoring double digits, which is pretty impressive that every single person is there, engaged, doing what they need to do. Megan stepped up and really controlled that first half for us with hitting those 4 threes. You know, they weren't expecting that, and for her to do that, we have that confidence in her, and we're going to continue to keep going. It's going to be someone different every game.
Over here on the left.
Wondering what you did from, I guess, post-game Friday to today in order to get you ready. Obviously a much different game for you.
Yeah, I think the way the games were played were different too. I think, you know, for us going into it, you know, we approach our defense and everything the same way, but for me, you know, I wanted to make a little bit more of an impact offensively and make sure that I was involved. And, you know, Friday's game, we didn't necessarily need that from me, and I felt like today I did need to step up, so I did what I could to help win the game.
Thank you. We have 2 over here on the right. Vicky?
Katie Lou, Gino said after the game on the court that you guys celebrated like this was your going to your first Final Four and not your 12th. I was wondering why is that? Like, obviously going to the Final Four is exciting, but what makes you guys so thrilled about this?
I think this team has done a lot behind closed doors to get to this point, and we've done so much, you know, ups and downs and trying to figure stuff out, how to work with certain people. You know, sometimes we have a lot of mismatches and things like that, and so this team has really fought our way to get to this point. And, you know, we experienced a lot of ups and downs this year, playing-wise, and close games and a couple losses, and for us
to get to this point and to win the way we have and the way we're playing right now as a team, you know, we're just so happy with where we are, and it's just special. This team is special, and every single one of these girls are my best friends, and I'm glad that I get this chance to go to the Final Four one last time.
Thank you. Another question on the right, Pete.
Hey, Pete Doherty, Albany Times Union. Megan, it looked like they were cheating a little bit toward Nafisa in the first half. Did you recognize that? And was that maybe giving you some offensive opportunities there?
Yes, Coach, we had a conversation earlier on in shoot around, and I think the practice before that, they probably would sag off me, so I knew I had to be ready to knock in open shots.
We have some questions on the left.
Howard Megdal, High Post Hoops. Lou, it's sort of been a recurring theme for your career. I mean, the bucket game where you scored 23 against Maryland, and what you managed to play through all of last year as well. I guess I wonder where this rates when you think about it in terms of games where you've managed to overcome, you know, fighting through different things, especially of a physical nature.
Yeah, I think, you know, I've said this before. At this point in the season, there's something that someone is going through. Every single person has things that they got to fight through, and they have to be ready to step up and get over that. And so it comes down to just being, are you mentally tough enough to play? And there's things that, you know, we all have had to do, all have had to get through. And for me, I'm just trying to do whatever I can to put my team in the best situation that they can be in.
Another question on the left.
For Megan and Kristen. Megan, I know you shot the lights out in the first half, and Kristen, you had big plays in the second half. I was wondering what goes both your mind when you see someone like Katie Lou, who's just makes those, like the three over Sam, and then the 4-point play, you know, facing the end of her career and really coming up with those kind of huge defining plays for our program.
We'll start with Megan.
You know, Lou works so hard, so we see those plays, those type of shots in practice. So in my mind, I had no doubt that it wasn't going in.
Yeah, she does it every day in practice, so I was not surprised. You know, she's a great leader on the floor, so I love you, man. She's just a great teammate, so I'm not surprised that she made those big plays. And it helps us because it gives energy to the team. So, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Question here to the right.
Start of the fourth quarter, you're on the bench. But before the five went on the floor, you made it a point to call them all together, and there was only, and you were pretty, I'm not sure what the right word is, forceful with what you were saying. I'm not as concerned with what you said, but why you felt the need to say it right at that time.
I think this year, especially having sat out in the games I did, I found ways to make an impact not being in the game, and I felt like when I have something to say, they all listen and they all kind of come to. But I, you know, went out there in that fourth quarter, just said we got to bear down, get these rebounds, and we're going to go to the Final Four. So I think for us, no matter who's out there on the court, we've been through so many things and so many different lineups at this point that we feel confident that, you know, whether I'm on the bench or not, we're going to be successful.
Over here on the left.
Kristen, Jim Clark from Women's Hoops World. Katie goes out with her fourth foul, and it looked like you took it on yourself to just start being the Kristen Williams we saw in Notre Dame and a few times since. Is that correct? Is that what you thought?
Yeah, it was kind of like when she wasn't playing in the conference tournament. You know, somebody had to step up and play her role. So I just gave what the defense, I did what the defense gave me, and offensively, it was there, and I was just flowing. So that's what happened.
Question on the left.
Danny Barletta, UCTV. Kristen, you made a lot of big plays in the second half, but arguably none bigger than that steal to seal the game on the inbound pass. Take me through that play right there.
Yeah. Well, this entire season, you know, I've struggled defensively, so that was a huge stop for me, or for the team, really. I saw it coming, and I stole the ball. It was just a big play at that time.
Our time with the student athletes has expired. We appreciate you taking time to be on the dais. Congratulations and good luck next weekend.
Thanks.
It's Kristen's favorite defense. Zone.
We'll begin with questions for Coach Auriemma up here on the right.
Gino, Doug Feinberg, the AP. Two-part question. You mentioned on the court how the team celebrated like they'd never gone to the Final Four before. You heard what Kalu said about stuff behind closed doors. Was this special for this group for you to make it here, even though it's been 12 straight years? And the second part is just what Lou's performance was. You've seen a lot of great ones. What she did tonight, where that sort of ranks for you?
Yeah. I know things are different at UConn. I know we're treated different. The expectations are different at our place. When Lou and Fisa were freshmen, we had we had the kind of players that, if Fisa and Lou didn't show up for the game, it was just a matter of how much we were going to win by, not whether we were going to win. And now to see them at the end of their 4 years, it's all on their shoulders. They have to play great, both of them or at least one of them, or we don't have a chance to win. And this is the first time that they've been in that situation. And they kind of took that load and took it personally. Like I said, somebody was going to be big tonight. We knew what Asia was going to do. That's a given. We just needed somebody to match, everything she did. We got the lead and we never lost the lead the entire game. We wanted to make sure that we answer everything. It would have been a hell of a thing if the only time we didn't lead was at the end of the game. Yeah, she made some shots today that only really special players make at this particular time. This is when players separate themselves in these games.
Thank you, Coach. Question on the right.
Kelly Stacy, Hartford Current. Gino, what can you say about Megan and Kristen and just kind of their growth and how important it is in the tournament?
I think, like Lou said, and I think Kristen said it too, Lou not being able to play in the conference tournament really, really helped. It helped with Megan realizing she had to do more all year long. We've been trying to get her to do more and do more and do more, and trying her to be more confident, be more aggressive. Kristen, when you come from high school and you're the best player in the country, supposedly, and you have the ball all the time, and then you come here and you're going to have it some of the time. It's a foreign world that you're entering, and it takes a while to get used to that, to find your place, where you fit in. And I think as the season wore on, she did. She found her place, and she's starting to play now like, the player that I saw in high school, and it's just made us, the two of them, it's just made us a completely different team than the team that played Louisville the very first time.
A question on the left.
Hi, Gino. Howard Meddall, High Post Hoops. When you think about what it means for Lou to have the game that she had in this spot today, and just the fact that now they, as a duo, are going back to the Final Four once more, what do you think it does for their overall legacy here at the school and their ability to carve out their own identity, like you said, on a team that started with what'll be 8 players that eventually go and play WNBA ball in 2016?
Yeah. Kids get to write their own stories a lot of times. As I said earlier, they could have had the same careers someplace else, and it could have ended tonight, and they would be viewed as 2 of the best players ever to play at that school. And unfortunately and fortunately, they're at a place where what they did today has become commonplace and expected. But that in no way diminishes what they've had to do and the way they did it day in and day out. It's not easy playing at Connecticut. I don't think people understand the pressures that go with playing at UConn. The expectations are so unrealistic, and at the same time, very realistic because we keep delivering on them. But it takes a certain kind of unique individual to be able to handle it, and the two of them have handled it as well as anybody we've ever had, with less of a supporting cast than some other people.
Thank you. Tim, on the right.
Tim Wilkin from the Albany Times-Union. How mind-boggling or mind-blowing is it to you that 12 years in a row you're going to the Final Four? That isn't supposed to happen, is it?
I don't think so. I don't think it's supposed to happen. Not in today's world, the way things change and the way, teams keep getting better and better. It's not normal, and it's something that's hard to describe. Because even if you were writing a book and making it up, people would say that doesn't happen in real life, and it has happened in real life. And I'm still, like you said, I'm boggled. My mind just doesn't get it, how this could happen this many years in a row with a different cast of characters that change so often. But no, it's not normal. It's not normal.
Way in the back, on the right.
Joe Zone, Channel 3 Hartford. Gino, you have said one of your players was going to have to step up, at least one. Did you have any idea, especially after Friday, that player was going to be Katie Lou Samuelson?
Talking today with our video coordinator, talking with Ben and some of our coaches, and especially after yesterday's workout, where Lou looked less than ecstatic about being there because she was just really hurting, both physically and mentally. I said she's either going to have a big night or it's going to be terrible. I don't think there's going to be any in between. And he said every single shot she's missed is going to go in today. I guess when you have a player that's done so much like she has in her 4 years, you expect them to bounce back. I didn't anticipate, 29 points is 29 points, but the way they came, they weren't just stand there, shoot open threes the whole night. So, given where she was Friday and yesterday and some of the things she's battling with, off the court, remarkable. That's the best thing I can say. Absolutely remarkable. What's up, Mike? You next?
Yeah. Up here on the right.
Gino, when's the last time, or what kind of joy does it give you to see all the joy that the kids had after the game?
It's only happened a couple times. The one time I said, in the locker room, I said, guys, this team is really special. I said, this team reminds me of that very first team in '91. And they all looked at each other, and none of them have been born, obviously. And it was the first time that I had gotten to experience what a bunch of kids who had no expectations on them. No one expected them to be able to do it. And the feeling in that locker room in Philadelphia when we won is one I'll never, ever, ever forget. That was, to this day, that just is burned in my memory. And then the 95 team, because you do go through a point like we might never win one. As good as we are, we might never win. So there's been a couple times when it's been that incredibly joyous and spontaneous. And I don't ever, I'm glad that at my age I'm getting to experience this, because I don't ever want it to become, how the world is. Yo, what you do today? We're going to the Final Four. Good job, man. Like, I don't ever want it to be like, yeah, okay, where are we eating tonight? Like, it's still got to mean a lot, and you still have to feel it in your soul, And I have felt everything about this team all year long. I've loved them. I've hated them. I wanted the season to end. I wanted the season to keep going. I wanted 10 guys to transfer. I only wanted to coach one guy. I wanted to have them over for dinner every night. I wish they never eat again the rest of their lives. Every single emotion. We can't play defense. We can't run offense. We're a great defensive team. Man, we run offense. Every single thought that could ever imagine was in my brain all year long, to the point where, I don't have any more brain space.
Well, congratulations on the victory. Good luck in the Final Four.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That concludes our press conference with Coach Auriemma.